Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to another live session. Okay, so today we'll be painting another whimsical character. That will be the sun. Okay, so let's see how this goes. We should have fun. We always have fun in here. So sorry, this is quite like an old. I sketched this years back. It was just lying there in the folder. Hence the marker stains. Please pardon that. All right, so how are we doing? How you doing? I think I'll be using a lot of, I want to paint the main face yellow. It's the sun. So yellow takes center stage, and then I'll work with other colors, and we'll just play around, You know I would do it. You know what time is it? Okay, I'm using yellow, blue. Okay, maybe orange somewhere. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so maybe green. Just leave this there. So let's start. Okay. And by the way, I really love how the ink came out in the yellow color for the last session. That's the banana. It's really so nice, and it got a lot of views. Over 1,000 views in less than 24 hours. Boy, you guys are the real MVP. Just fueling my energy for this. So, thank you. From my heart, thank you. Thanks for joining. Where are you joining in from? Can I know where you're joining in from? You know how we do it, eh? Hi, I'm Tosin from Nigeria. Just type in the chat box. Hi, your name and where you're from on the surface of the head. I'm really falling in love with using ink. Although it takes longer, but I kind of feel it's quite therapeutic too, because you get to just stay in the process, which is largely what art therapy is about, Working with ink, it's so interesting. I've had them lying around for, I don't know, I just kind of just underrate them, if that's the word. Because it's what we use for in everyday, like teachers use them to grade the red one and some other colors. They use them to grade marks, score sheets and stuff. So we use them in classrooms to write our notes. So I didn't really see it as like a main art tool, until this my very wonderful and amazing artist friend. Until I came across his work on Instagram. I'm like, what the? You guys do masterpieces with pens? Pens, really? I feel like if I can, I could just tag. Either I put a picture, I don't know. Let's see, maybe not. The picture that really inspired me, it made an ink drawing of the Onyibo bus stop in Lagos. Any Nigerian here who also stays in Lagos who is familiar with that place, And I was really blown away. It was really nice. It was really nice. The details, the intricate details, each lines, man, it must have taken a lot of time, days, week, maybe months, I don't know. But you could see the rawness of an artist's work, sweat, great guts, everything. It was that hard work just revealed a lot about the tenacity of an artist, you know. Because look at this. This seems very well for a typical person, non-artist. But I mean, yeah, it takes time, but I'm actually having fun while taking time. I'm still having fun, you know. This isn't work for us. But you know, this can be like a punishment for someone who is not interested in art, for someone who is not into the creative journey and all. You ask them to paint this space with ink, it's work. They're gonna cry. They just sit and start crying like, ha! Just bring her again and stop flogging me. Because it's a lot of work, but this is fun to me. It's every stroke just relaxes me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hi, Dania Hayat. I hope I pronounced your name well. Pardon me. Are you from Indian? Are you from China too? One of the viewer from 2 sessions ago, yeah, he mentioned he was from China. That's, am I right? Is China in Indian? That's so far away across oceans. My God. That's one thing that foils artists, me particularly, up to just like, okay, we're going for another live session today. It's just meeting these amazing people across continents. How beautiful that is. So, Danny, yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for coming to the live. How's your day going? What time is it where you are? What time is it? What time is it? What time? I don't know. I just have a fair. Okay, it's still 4. I don't know. I just started doubting what if this runs out, but I just saw it. It's 4. I mean, the liquid is gold, but it comes out as yellow. Sometimes I'm really fascinated about the science behind color, behind art material, behind what we use to create our art. There's a whole science behind it. And I've always knew, aside having a background in not just science but in medical science, that there is an intricate, deep core origin connection, yeah, let me put it that way, between the sciences and arts, you know, because there are some parallels. There are really some parallels. Yeah. There is a binding thread between these two major career fields. But interestingly, in Africa, in Nigeria for one, subjects are just segmented. It's like it's either you do this or you do that. So the idea of having a creative person in the medical space, especially in the 90s then, into the 2000s, the 21st century, on like a couple of like 10 years ago and stuff, it was so strange. It was so alien. It was almost like, what are you saying? And so sometimes it's difficult for you to marry the two. Let me use the word. Because last night I watched a podcast. It's hosted by a doctor. I think she's having a fellowship in urology. I'm not sure. She didn't really give that much details. It was a very beautiful platform. She talks about doctors and creativity. That's not the exact name of the podcast, but that's just what the podcast is about. So she brought another. Right. We're back on. Right. We're back on. So I had a number of aha moments during the interview, and it was so cool, you know. She said a lot of things, broke a lot of stereotype, called out African parents. You know, it was fun, it was nice. And so my point is, sometimes we don't have to pick one of the two. Sometimes we just pick one and drop the other, because, I mean, it just depends on your calling. Some are just meant to be fully in hearts. Maybe just find your way into medicine, one way or the other, and okay, just drop it and go pick your heart. Whatever the ends find it to do, do it with all your heart, girl. God's gonna bless it. Don't worry, it will pay your bills and more. Most importantly, you'll be so fulfilled. Why? Because it's your calling. Whereas for some others, it's an interception, you know, where even in the practice, even in the clinical practice, you bring your heart side to play. Say you're into music and you work in mental health, and then you just have this music session for, you know, young people rehabilitating from drugs and substance abuse. There are stuffs like that. It's a whole thing. People write their entire thesis on it, professorial degrees, get scholarships on research, get grants, you know, and entire organizations all over the world. There's even a week in Nigeria, a whole national Heart and Health Week in Nigeria, started by the Hearts in Medicine Fellowship. And it's really nice to be acquainted with them. I got to know about it in 2018. I was having quite a hard time then in med school. I was just really tired. Like, when am I gonna finish? This thing just seems like never ending, you know? You know what I mean? And so I volunteered and I became the state coordinator for Ocean. So I was in Ife then. Ife is a town in Nigeria that has one of the most prestigious universities in Africa and arguably in the world, yes. And so there's just a lot of, you are able to do a lot of things because of that exposure, but the exposure didn't necessarily come from the campus. I think it was online. I just found, oh, this person is into this and this. And then I applied and I was approved. So I collaborated with another NGO and we did this very beautiful thing at the Seventh-day Adventist Hospital, and then we did another one in Akure in Ondo State. These are whole Nigerian states, right? And it was really beautiful. But then I got caught up with medical work because sometimes it's a full-on 9 to 5 job. You just have to read and read and read and read and read. Then you get back home and read some more. Because it's so structured, and I feel like that wasn't so encouraging for my creative process, because in heart you should have free thinking, you should have free will, if that's what's called, yeah. You should be able to just say, oh, I want to create this and this is the way I want to create it. I want to create it my own way. But in medicine, the kidneys are where the kidneys are. You can't have an opinion about where the kidneys are. It's exact. So you have to like read standards, things that are set. These are standards because it's the human body. You can't mess around. You can't, no, you're not allowed to experiment. This is, except, oh, you're done and then you're majoring, you're having your fellowship, a consultant, and you want to, okay, maybe go for an advanced study in cancer, find a cure for HIV and stuff. Yeah. And then that's going to be under structured studies. You're going to be regulated. Whatever research you're going to be doing is going to be regulated, and it has to pass the human rights standards and laws, you know. So yeah, but in arts, whatever you want to do, you do. You want to paint, you paint. You want to do a design, a unique dress design. It's entirely up to you and your resources. But medicine didn't really give that liberty. So one way or the other, it kind of affects your creative process and all. And this is my advice to everyone that is still in the medical, a student or professional, is create, which is, it's like reiterating what I learned from the, you know, last night from the podcast show, is always create time, like schedule your creative work. Like always have a time, like, oh, twice a week, once a week, this time of the week, I mean, this day of the week, I'm going to do this, I'm going to write, I'm going to journal, or you go visit a gallery and just jot some fresh ideas in your vision book to be executed maybe when you're on holidays, not in medical school, or collaborate with another full-time artist to just bring that idea to life. Ooh, these red leaves are, they are leaping, girl. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going for the blue eyes lately. I just hope it's not going to be standoffish. I don't know. I don't want to create a scary looking sun. I just want it to be beautiful. But lately, I'm just loving this idea of contact looking lens. I don't know. Contact looking lens. Does that make sense? Does that sound right? Yeah, I mean, lens, like high lenses that looks like you're wearing contacts. I don't know. English is not my mother tongue. Rearrange it. But you get what I mean. Alright, so find time for your creativity. If you love to sing, maybe Sunday evening, or when you're back from, or when you're driving down back from class, just play, have your playlist and vibe to it. Just never stop cultivating your craft. Yes, I think that's the summary of what I want to say. Because not just in medical, if you're a professional in this very corporate field, say accounting and stuff, nursing, you're a building contractor, very demanding professional courses. You just want to be intentional about having time to work on your craft, because that's how you develop mastery. That's even how you explore and oh, this is the aspect that I would love to do. This one is scary, is it? Oh my god. So Nana Wow from Indonesia. Is this scary? I think it's cute. I think it's the highs. Or maybe the blue shade is too. Sure, I'll go with that. I want to paint this race first before I put the blush. The blush is like when we're signing out. So I think I'll start with this. Sorry now, I hope I pronounced your name very well. I hope you'll be less scary when we're done putting in all the colors. So, my gist is just never stop cultivating your craft. Be intentional about your craft. Have time to build your craft. Yeah. Especially if you're into a 9 to 5 corporate job and world, just create times, Saturdays, Sundays, or when you're back from work in the evening, or sometimes you could even, if you have like an iPad with a digital pen and you're into illustration and branding, in between classes, you could just quickly design something. Maybe you could pick inspiration from your friend's flowery dress or the professor's funny looking cap. Just have fun. Because you're going to, in as much as you have the excuse of, oh, I'm running a professional course, the years of your life are actually going by. Like, not to scare you, but that's just reality. Time is going. And you can't wait until you're done with that 5 years, 6 years, 7 years residency and stuff. And say, oh, now I want to pick up my canvas, I want to see the world. Sometimes life doesn't exactly happen like that. I don't want to say I have my own regrets because I'm still a very young person. Could still do a number of things that I want to do. But for some other people caught in this web, time, especially if they're married with children, responsibility, they can't just get up and go like a single young person. It's best if you know this is where your passion lies and you're just doing the 9 to 5 for survival or for societal prayer, it's just best you find a way to still make that voice, that art voice, speak true, loud and clear, very loud, very clear. Because that way you'll be able to say, oh, of all the arts journey, this is the one for me. It took me years to finally nail the illustration. I tried photography. I was even the escort with photo club on campus at the time. I got to assist my photographer friends, just interesting times. I just knew over time that, okay, it's interesting, it's fancy, but I'll prefer, I think I'm going to paint this part too. I just prefer a more hands-on kind of hat than either pencil on paper or digitally. I just like to see my stroke move as I walk. And you don't really get to do that with graphics and photography. It's you're moving elements around, you're denoising, you're editing, you're cleaning, you're cropping and stuff. So I just knew I'll prefer something more. Sorry, I was just having glitches today. Network was happening. Just having glitches today was happening. Okay. So this is a very big joint. It's taking longer. More time for more fun for you guys.